Welcome into the A-10 Spotlight. I'm Monica McNutt. Lots of A-10 action to get to today. We'll check out the Dayton Flyers volleyball team. We've got sights and sounds from the cross-country championships in Glen Allen, Virginia. And of course, basketball is underway. But we'll start with women's soccer. The Dayton Flyers win a league record 10 straight A-10 championships.
You have to believe, you have to trust.
Let's go, guys. Attitude, energy, and effort.
Alexis Keel into the box, one-on-one. She shoots and she scores.
All it has to do is get in behind those people. It doesn't have to be played into a big space.
A teammate to join her, and a third goal.
If we can continue to have that mindset, you're gonna do wondrous things.
Play within yourself. You know what you can do. Don't try and do more than you can do. Do what you can do. I think we're too much going back, and there are spaces in front.
Cowley turning. Cowley the shot. She scores.
Get in there. Get in there.
Gets it back. Staten shoots, and she ties it at one.
Stuck with it. Got the equalizer late. Couldn't be happier.
We're going to get a good look on goal, and we have to be willing to shoot.
A left-footed shot. She wins it for GW with 8 seconds to go in the second overtime.
Set the tone. You've worked so hard to get here.
One family, one heartbeat. Let's go. You gotta go for it. Okay, you gotta take it.
Wakeford a shot, and it's tipped off the crossbar.
If we can get a quarter, we'll win this game. Let's get a quarter.
It's a loose ball, left-footed shot, score! It's left, a shot is blocked. Ball loose, tie game!
All you can do is control when you step out for kickoff, how you're going to play. How you're going to play, you have a choice.
Trouble there. And coming out of the goal, Fitzgerald, and there's the winner for George Mason.
Let's go out there, be patient, keep the ball.
We're not always choosing the simplest wide open pass. We're choosing things that are a little more difficult.
Own the ball. That's the key. Own the ball, and then spring the surprise on them.
A chance here. Keel scores.
Let's go!
Oh, good play, Leadham in the box to Keel, and it's 2-0.
Aaron, are you dancing? Yeah. All right. We'll all be dancing on Sunday. I promise that. Let's go.
Squad, let's go. Let's go. We keep forcing to one side. Use Taylor to switch, okay?
Winning the ball, left-footed cross towards Mills. A dummy through, and it's 4-2.
We'll be more successful if we could go quickly from one side out to the other.
Let's be organized. Right here, right here.
Gets around Hertigan. Now across. Mills scores. Second of the game, and a dagger.
The 2016 Atlantic 10 Women's Soccer Championship.
Four, give me the goalie. 3, give me the mixer.
Because you're doing the right things, and the goals will come.
And it's tapped in by Leadham. Fitting end to Mike Tucker's career. The Dayton Flyers have won the Atlantic 10 Championship.
No, no.
Yes.
It was certainly a stellar season for the Dayton Flyers. 10 straight titles is unheard of. The Flyers did fall in the first round of the NCAA tournament to Ohio State 3-2, but still lots to celebrate on the season. We turn now to hoops. The first week of awards are in the books for the 2016-2017 season. Richmond's Chandra Jones and St. Joe's Shavar Newkirk are co-players of the week. Jones put up 31 points, including 4 of 5 from 3, to give the Spiders a season-opening win over VMI. Newkirk set a career-high 28 points and 7 boards and scored 4 of those points with 46 seconds to go, which was huge in the 77-76 victory over Toledo. And lastly, Duquesne freshman Mike Lewis II earned Rookie of the Week honors, averaging 13.5 points over 2 games. This week, our very own ASN college basketball analyst Mark Adams stopped by with enthusiasm that only he can bring. He lays out his A-10 players to watch and why.
Thanks, Monica. I want to talk about one of my favorite conferences, the Atlantic 10, and my favorite players in the Atlantic 10 who could make a run to the A-10 championship. Let's go to the Davidson senior first, Jack Gibbs. He might be the best guard in the country. There, I said it. E.C. Matthews of Rhode Island, a junior, dynamic talent, returned after an injury-riddled 2016-17. He could make Hurley's Rams special. Dayton, Ohio, and Charles Cook, elite scoring talent who creates mismatches. One high flyer. Josh Cunningham was injured during the Alabama game, might be back. If he's healthy, he makes the Dayton Decibel Dungeon rock. Jordan Price of LaSalle, that senior is one of the great natural scorers in the country. T.J. Klein of the Richmond Spiders, one tough matchup. At 6'9" tall, he can stretch a defense, dish it, and score. Scoochie Smith of the Dayton Flyers, I love his name, out of the Bronx, New York. He is a leader. Mo Alley Cox, an absolute stud, will have a breakout season for VCU. Hassan Martin, the big-time senior shot blocker for Rhode Island, makes the Rams rim tough. And Tyler Cavanaugh, the senior for GW, a three-point scoring machine, as GW will make a run as well. Those are my top 10 players for you to watch in the Atlantic 10 on American Sports Network.
I promise we'll spend more time with each of those guys at some point during the season. All right, we are not even close to being finished talking about A-10 hoops. Later, Mark Adams and John Evison discuss the idea of the A-10 as a Power 6 hoops conference. Richmond women and the Dayton men won the A-10 cross-country championships. We'll take you behind the scenes and give you all the sights and sounds from Glen Allen, Virginia. Welcome back to the A-10 Spotlight. The Richmond women took home the 2016 cross-country championship, making it their second straight women's title. The Dayton men won their first ever title this year. Whether it's a first or a repeat, there's always plenty to celebrate.
Good morning and welcome to 2016 Atlantic 10 Cross Country Championship.
We're 17 minutes out. We got to keep our jogging going.
Just gotta believe. Believe that it's there, and when you decide to go for it and dig in, it's there.
Just be patient, be confident, be strong, put yourself in it, all right?
Tuck your laces, ladies.
I tripled and tucked and twisted. All right. They are not going anywhere.
All right, you back!
Nice and tight together.
You're 17! There's more there! Keep it going! Go for your time now, Heather!
We're still seeing Heather McLean of UMass pretty much dominating this race. She was second here last year.
Come on, Haley! Pick it up, girls!
It's Heather McLean to win the race. Good job, Heather! Good job, Heather!
Here comes Heather McLean, the victory.
Is this for the live stream?
Incredible 5-second spread.
5 seconds.
5-second spread between Richmond's 1 and 5 today.
That is the way to win a championship.
Unbelievable what you guys just did. Unbelievable.
So, 8th to 4th, we'll take it. I'm very proud of you.
Look in each other's eyes. Each and every one of us are here next year.
Ladies, go cool down. All right, gentlemen, got 15 minutes.
Stick to our race plan. Let's do this. Let's go finish this.
Put it out there, run, and that's it, okay? Push yourselves. Use each other for strength, okay?
Every place counts coming off that last turn, all right? One more gear coming off the top of that little hill.
start the race.
Let's go, UMass! Let's go! Eyes up, Bryce! Stay with it!
You gotta get this pack up here. You gotta get this pack. You gotta move up.
Almost 5 miles of great cross-country action coming your way.
We need you to close. Get up there with Ramsey. Come on, kid. You got it.
Rico Galassi, your 2016 A-10 champion. Got a pick. No, Negri takes second.
Nice race. That could be really big for Dayton right there.
Good job, baby.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, baby. Thank you. Birthday gift.
Wanted to get it and just win that race.
Yeah.
Was freaking fantastic. Don't worry.
Congratulations to the 2016 Atlantic 10 Women's Cross Country All-Conference
We
team.
moved from 4th at one checkpoint to 3rd at one to 2nd to 1 to 1st. By the end of the race.
Very mature race.
You will remember how you did it and why.
So after this, just getting a conference title is not going to be enough, right? We need to build on that.
You'll remember this. You will remember this. So congratulations. Congratulations to everybody.
Congratulations, absolutely in order. Lots of hard work being cashed in there. All right, you know of the Power 5 conferences when it comes to football, but should it be a Power 6 when it comes to basketball? Insert the A-10, maybe? Mark and John will discuss that coming up. Also, Dayton continues to have athletic success across the board. We check in with the regular season champion, the volleyball team, next.
Okay. You ready? Okay, Maggie, your hands. 25 miles.
Welcome back. Davidson's Jack Gibbs and St. Bonaventure's Jalen Adams were named to the Wooden Award preseason top 50 this week. Now, the Wooden watch list is made up of the early frontrunners for college basketball's most prestigious individual honor. Gibbs is also on the Naismith Award watch list. As demonstrated by the accolades for Gibbs and Adams, people know about the quality of basketball in the A-10 and obviously its athletes. So it begs the question, should the A-10 be considered a power basketball conference? John Everson talks with our analysts. They discuss the topic.
Thank you, Monica. It's my absolute honor to be on the American Sports Network couch right here. I've seen many great sports conversations right here, and many great sports minds have taught us a few things, including our lead national college basketball analyst, Mark Adams, who's, of course, is going to be talking some hoops here. We were talking a little bit before we came on here, and I got to admit, I'm not totally convinced of what you were trying to tell me here. I love watching Atlantic 10 basketball, very competitive conference, of course, and when I'm filling out my brackets in March, I always kind of lean towards those teams a little bit because they've done some stuff. But you were trying to tell me that this is a top 6 conference.
So you worked in Syracuse for a while, right?
Yes, I did at one point. Yeah,
So
back in the Big East days.
You've been drinking the orange Kool-Aid, and let me tell you why the Atlantic 10 is a top 6 conference,
Drank
John.
Kool-Aid in years. Go ahead, though.
Multi-NCAA bid conference for 11 straight seasons. At least 3 bids the last 9 seasons, one of 6 conferences in the country to achieve that. And in 2015-16, the A-10 was the number 6 computer-ranked RPI conference ahead of the SEC. Am I moving you in my direction now?
It's a pretty good aerial view of one conference, I got to tell you. But there are other, talented conferences outside of these big budget conferences, and the SEC, for example. So I still think it's pretty bold. It's pretty bold still, in my mind, to say top 6. I need to be convinced a little more here.
Well, let's dig a little bit deeper.
All right.
And let's talk about NCAA bids.
Okay.
You follow the NCAA tournament, right?
I do, of course.
Okay, so
And
let's
I'm
talk
usually
about-
ripping up my bracket by day 2 or 3.
Well, you might rip it up this year, too, if you don't pick the A-10. Because here's how this thing works. From 2012 to 2016, the Big Ten has accrued 33 total bids. That's number 1 in the country. The Big 12, 32. The Big East, 32. The ACC, 28. The Pac-12, 24. And the A-10, again, ahead of the SEC with 21. So even when you look at the amount of bids they've gotten over the course of a 3-year period and since 2012, the Atlantic 10 has really outperformed one of the big budget types of conferences in the SEC by a fairly significant margin. Are you there yet?
You know what? I'm starting to be a believer because what I'm seeing here, of course, the realignment of the conferences over the better part of a decade, when you factor in teams that were already Atlantic 10 teams and what they've accomplished, and then the teams that are now Atlantic 10 teams and have still a rich history before them, your argument gets even stronger here, doesn't it?
Well, of course it does.
Yeah,
because
real
I've got to
strong.
convince one of the Syracuse guys here.
I'm not a Syracuse
You
guy.
lived in Syracuse, so I've got to convince you here. So let's do a little convincing right now.
Okay.
In 2004, St. Joe's, remember them?
Yeah,
They went to the Elite Eight.
of course.
In 2006, George Mason, now a member of the Atlantic 10, then of the Colonial, went to the Final Four. Davidson, they remember the SoCon, but now a member of the Atlantic 10, went to the Elite Eight with a guy named Steph Curry, by the way. The
Who's
Richmond Spiders, the Sweet 16 in 2011. BCU, also in the Colonial at that time, but now an A-10 member, went to the Final Four in 2011. LaSalle and John Giannini's bunch went to the Sweet 16 in 2013. And Archie Miller with the Dayton Flyers went to the Elite Eight in 2014. These are programs, we're not just talking about Kentucky here from the SEC.
Yeah.
We're talking about the depth and breadth of the Atlantic 10 and how they performed in NCAA tournament.
I've never been more excited in November to have an entire season of Atlantic 10 basketball to watch. It's all fine and dandy now that you've convinced me to be a top 6 team, but what's the point of being a top 6 team if you need to do some damage against those other big budget conferences, right? And are there some teams that you can rhyme off that maybe have done? Dayton comes to mind.
Dayton, let's start with Dayton.
Let's start with Dayton.
Dayton is 31-12 versus Power 5 opponents over the last 9+ seasons. Let me say it again, 31-12.
I'm glad you said it again because I was wondering if I had heard it right. But yeah, when you think
They're
back.
14-3, John,
That must be why I
against
thought
the
about it.
SEC.
Yeah.
14-3 against the SEC. So Dayton has carried that banner for the Atlantic 10 and done a tremendous job of knocking off the big budget buddies in NCAA basketball and representing the A-10 as the flagship of the giant killer. BCU, Rhode Island, also 2 programs that are really good this year. Rhode Island was ranked in the top 25 in preseason. BCU with Mo Alley Cox, of course, we talked about their Final Four run under Shaka Smart. Now his assistant, Will Wade, has come back home and is leading the Rams right now. This is a loaded conference, some really good teams that will shock people come NCAA tournament time.
Now that you've excited us all and we're looking forward to this entire season of Atlantic 10 basketball, I mean, last year 3 teams, if I'm correct, made it into the NCAA tournament. 2 of them ran into tough second-round opponents. Dayton lost to Syracuse. I'm not saying that because you keep throwing the Syracuse thing at me, but what do you see this year? You mentioned Rhode Island, Davidson, Dayton, of course, VCU.
Yeah, Dayton.
Do we get 4 this year? What do you see as far as who could do some damage in the NCAA
Well,
tournament?
history is an indicator, John. At least 3. And I think Dayton, VCU, and Rhode Island would be the top 3 I would pick right now.
Okay.
And then there's a mosh pit. But it's a high-quality mosh pit.
I've been to a Nirvana concert back in the day.
Nirvana.
Back in the day, Nirvana.
You said Nirvana.
I know.
So I caught you right away.
I've
But Metallica.
proven how nerdy I am.
It's like a Metallica mosh pit, high quality, all right? And so you've got people like St. Bonnie's, you've got Davidson, you've got LaSalle, who has a bunch of great scorers on that team. This is a very good team. Richmond, with I think that bunch can also make a run. This is a quality, depth conference that can make a serious NCAA tournament run. Maybe 4. For sure, 3. That's what history tells us.
Well, thank you for getting us so excited so early in the season, as you always do. Mark Adams, the biggest Nirvana fan. You may not know that about him. Back to you, Monica.
Thanks, guys. I was not expecting the Nirvana reference at all, but we shall continue rolling. 3 members of the Flyer volleyball squad picked up awards after a stellar season. We'll tell you who after the break. Welcome back to the A-10 Spotlight. Jackie Kemp picks up the first A-10 Player of the Week award with a 20-point, 8-assist performance, and then she followed that one up with her 7th double-double, 25 points and 10 assists. The freshman from UMass, Haley Liddell, in her collegiate debut, 16 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists in 40 minutes. Congratulations to both of those ladies picking up the first set of awards. The Dayton Flyers volleyball team went an impressive 28-1 this season. Head coach Tim Horsman has done a masterful job, and now we go to the sidelines to see just exactly what he does during the course of a game.
Let's figure out that red, okay? First of all, I think your blockers, they're either not setting the block up or they're reaching, and you have to make that adjustment.
Do you want me to go outside the block more or just go to the same spot?
Well, you got to see what's happening. If that's their tendency right now, we got to figure that out, okay? So you got to see what that tendency is. If they keep beating you there and that's the shot they're hitting, then we got to make a little bit of change on where you're setting up. But you also have to talk to your blockers and defenders. What are you guys doing? Okay, what are we lining up to do? Get one more here. I see you, Brunzy. Good job. Maggie, nothing hits the floor. Watch tips and rolls. Yes. Jess, be a beast back here. Lots of voices, okay? Be ready for that. One more. We're going to make a run. I know that. We just got to play a little cleaner right now. Lock a couple balls. Got to get them out of system. That libero's rotating over to steal those balls. We're going to start going the other way into that seam. What do you think about this? Stay behind it. Hey, it's your first serve right here. Drive it.
All right, center's out.
Inside!
No!
Great touch.
Oh, look what I found.
Just great dig! Maggie, know where she is. Hey, Green, you ready? Stay low, they're setting to go, okay? You ready? Okay, Maggie, your hands. 20 by 5 digs, everything right now is either a go or a 9 outside of that. Relax, let's get a great swing out of that. Stay low, positive touch.
Good stuff from Dayton. Tim Horsman was the A-10 Coach of the Year. Congratulations to the Flyers. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this edition of the A-10 Spotlight. I'm Monica McNutt. Enjoy your holiday.